Hi everyone, welcome to the Mirja Vahala Art Studio where inspiring minds meet. Here is an acrylic painting done with a palette knife, and I was drawn to paint this one because of the depth that was created by the overlapping shapes of the dark trees, the mountains, and then going back to the sky. So whenever you want to create an interesting design, you're trying to look for overlapping shapes. Like there's these green trees, these dark reddish trees, this mountain back here, and the sky. All right, and the other thing that what really drew me to paint this was this cool gray contrast to this really warm, bright area. And I like the challenge also of trying to create the sense of the alpine glow that happens in the morning light or the evening light in the mountains. It was also fun to paint this little peachy warm piece down here of light that was kind of leaking through between the two mountain ranges. The other thing that happened in this painting is when I was doing glazing methods, doing these trees, I did some sgraffito, which is an Italian word meaning to scratch in. So it's fun to create the texture for those parts as well. Anyway, it was a lot of fun to do, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more video. This is my most often process of starting on a color ground. This one was made with yellow and quinacridone red, creating this light orange color. I've divided my space into thirds and done the drawing, looking at the thirds in each box in the drawing, or the photo you see above. This is a thin transparent layer of quinacridone magenta. I've thinned the paint down with GAC 500, which is an acrylic polymer medium. I'm trying to make the marks interesting with the palette knife on these trees. I'm really aware of the edges and the little scratchy marks that I'm creating inside the paint while it's still wet. This color will represent the dark shaded area of the trees that are in the foreground. The yellow-orange background is making this magenta look more like a red-orange. The gray here is made with cadmium orange and ultramarine blue plus titanium white. It's surprising how different the colors look when you mix them together. I used a lot more of the blue than the orange just to keep it on the cool side. I'm varying the amount of white that I'm adding into that mixture I made with the blue and the orange. I'm also using my knife in different directions and leaving little edges of paint to make that look like the craggy edge of a mountain. This browny golden color that I'm creating here is still made with the cadmium orange and ultramarine blue plus the titanium white. By keeping it more on the orange side, it's staying a little bit warmer than the other mixture that we had. By adding a tiny bit more of the blue into that same mixture, I'm getting something that's sort of in between the two of the blue and the brown color. It's also a little bit darker, creating some more of a visual interest on the edge of these two plains on the mountains. When painting, try to move your hand around and make different kinds of marks with your palette knife or brush. This keeps the painting a lot more interesting looking. I've added some GAC 500 directly into the wet paint. Then I've continued to scratch and scrape the side of that mountain just to keep going with that look of cragginess. Here I'm taking phthalo blue and some titanium white and mixing it to create that light color where the light is hitting on that top edge of the mountain. I'm taking that same tinted phthalo blue and I'm putting it on top of the glacier on the right mountain. Painting in this negative space manner helps me to decide how much of that yellow-orange ground I will allow to show through. That yellow-orange ground also helps me to see how cool or how warm each color is that I place down. It's also a measuring guide for how light or dark each color is that I place. I'm continuing here with phthalo blue tinted with titanium white. When laying down thicker opaque paint, I don't use any GAC 500. While painting the sky blue and leaving that yellow-orange color behind, I'm actually creating the warm face of the mountain. I've mixed cadmium orange with a tiny bit of blue and titanium white, and I'm going over top of the warm face of this mountain, and I'm going to leave little bits of the darker brown showing through. While I have that lighter orange color, I'm correcting the edges of some of the trees and changing the angle of the slope of the mountain. This is cadmium orange tinted with titanium white. I haven't added any blue to this color because I want a cleaner color. This is titanium white with a tiny bit of the gray color mixed into it. This is to create the little bits of snow stuck between the mountain rocks. We're getting there, we're more than halfway through. To darken the trees, I took dioxazine violet, or if you want to call it purple, added some GAC 500 and created a glaze. And I'm going over the parts where I want to be a little bit darker. I continue to use sgraffito effects to scratch into that paint. And on we go, adding more of that dioxazine purple. Here I've taken cadmium orange, ultramarine blue, and white, staying more on the warm side. Added a lot more white than what's underneath, and creating some of those tints that I need on the side of the mountain. I love the way the light is shining between the two mountain ranges and casting this warm bit of glow on the cool snow. These are little titches of phthalo blue tinted with the white to make some crags in the mountainside. This is cadmium orange tinted with titanium white. I wanted to warm up that blue sky a little bit, plus bring some of the orange up into the blue areas. This is chromium oxide green, and I've taken the GAC 500 to make it a thin mixture. I wanted to make sure that some of that red-orange background would continue to shine through. This is a glaze of phthalo green. If you don't have phthalo green, you can put a yellow layer followed by phthalo blue. Here I've tinted the chromium oxide green and adding some light bits to the edges of those trees. Here I'm varying the tonal values of the sky with a glaze of phthalo blue. And while the paint was wet, I took a wet rag and wiped a little bit of the blue off to create a soft look in the clouds. To vary the color in the warm side of the mountains, I took transparent red oxide and put some glazes down. Cadmium orange and transparent red oxide are similar color families, so they live together very well. That's it, we're done this painting. I hope you get a chance to give it a try. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for notice of new videos. Take care. Bye.